everyone, welcome to my studio. Different studio than to maybe one of my older videos. I haven't done a studio in the studio artist vlog type video for quite a long time, must be like a couple of years now. Not since I've moved to Hungary, so if you follow my crochet channels then you'll know that in 2021 I moved from the UK to Hungary. I've done some videos on that. I haven't actually done any updates since last Christmas, not the one gone, but the one before. So I think so. A lot of people think I've moved back, but now I'm still here. I just haven't done any vlogs or just been busy doing the crochet stuff, the crochet tutorials. But over Christmas, this Christmas and New Year, I've been really getting back into my art, and obviously I've done a few shorts and a few videos recently, but I thought it'd be really nice to do an in the studio vlog, just have a catch up with you guys who are interested in my art. And also I thought we would test a few old watercolours. So on one of my recent trips back to the UK, I had quite a lot of difficulty getting my stuff from the UK over to Hungary, because me being me decided to move to mainland Europe, as I call it, after Brexit and during COVID. So yeah, perfect time to move abroad, so because that makes total sense. But yeah, I've been here for 2 years now, and on one of my recent trips back to the UK I managed to pick up some of my old art materials, one of which is this bag here. Now this bag is full of really old watercolours, and we're talking watercolours that are like 20, 30, maybe even 40 years old. So they're a mixture of my old ones from my childhood, yeah, showing my age, but also some that my father gave me, because he used to be a watercolour artist, but he's moved much more into acrylic art. And unfortunately I can't share any socials of my dad's work with you because he's completely not on social media, so it's just a great shame because I think his work is amazing. I saw one of his recent drawings recently, and it's of a hand, and it was his draftsman skills blow me away. But anyway, sidetracking, I thought we would go through some of these watercolours, and they're a real mixed bag of, so this is not sponsored by any of these brands. They're a real mixed bag of ones that you can still feel are quite soft, and other ones that are, yeah, like rock hard. So I want to see if I can, this is actually gouache, however you pronounce it. But I thought we would just use the watercolours, and we'll try and cut open some of the really hard ones and see if we can actually still use them. Like, how long do these last if you don't use them? So we're going to give that a try today, and maybe just paint some watercolour flowers. Not really a tutorial, just having a play with the watercolour, and yeah, let's see how we get on. So I'm going to pick a few colours and take it from there. Just one thing before I get started though, if you're wondering what this is, if you follow me on Instagram, I mainly do, you can see there, pretty little postcard type paintings, but on occasions I do ramp up the size, and if I move the camera slightly, to working on some abstract. So usually very kind of dystopian, space theme, industrial type. I don't know why. It's very different to my postcards, which are a lot more twee. So yeah, definitely two sides of my personality going on there. But this is a current abstract painting I'm working on. So I quite like this setup actually. It's quite cool. I've pinned you to an office chair so I can like spin you around. Anyway, let's get started and try out some of these watercolours. Okay, so as you can see, I got a double bagged this because I was really paranoid about, I didn't take this on an aeroplane flight. I'm not sure you can even take paint on a plane. We were travelling by car, so it was a great opportunity to get some old paints. But yeah, I remember double bagging it. I was really paranoid about all my paint just going all over all my clothes and travel stuff. So I'm going to separate, first of all, I'm going to separate the gouache, however you pronounce it, from the watercolours, and then we'll have a look at some of the brands of the old watercolours. Even the design looks old. We seem to have 3 different brands, so like I said, not sponsored. We have a Dale and Rowney brand, we have a Codman brand, and we have a Reeves brand. I think also these are probably the newest ones. You can probably tell by the packaging looks quite newish, so I would say they're probably only about 5-10 years old. I don't know. I think my dad gave me those. These ones are a bit older, and these ones are the really older ones because these are from my childhood. This one in particular is, you can hear, is very, very hard. So I'm going to pick some of the really hard ones and just see if we can still work with them. Technically with watercolour you should be able to still use them because you just add water and you should get some colour on your brush. Obviously the quality won't be as good as if they were new. But it's very different to acrylic, where I mainly use the Pabeo acrylics. These are my favourite for my acrylic work. And the problem is when these get really old and they dry up, then they're kind of done. You can't do a lot with them. But I haven't actually tested that, so I haven't tested that theory because I didn't work with acrylics when I was younger. So this is a very good test for 30-year-old watercolours. So let's grab a few pretty colours, and some of the hard ones I'm going to cut open, and because there's no way I'm going to be able to squeeze this out. Let's have a look, shall we? So, and there's nothing coming out of here, so yeah, I'm going to try and cut this open. I'll do it off camera because I'll probably cut myself doing it on camera. So I'll cut some of the older ones open, and yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can create. So cutting this open was actually a lot easier than I thought. So it kind of ripped quite easily. Just used the Stanley knife, and yeah, opened up quite easily. And I'm assuming this is going to work. It's actually still slightly wet on this one, but this one's very, very hard. But it should work like normal hard watercolours. So if you are an expert in watercolours and you know this already, then don't bother continuing to watch. So this is for the people who don't know how watercolours stand the test of time. So we're just having a play and an experiment. So one interesting thing though is the colour is very, very different. I mean, it looks very, very dark. It looks more like a blue than a green. So I've grabbed a few sort of colours from each section to create some flat. I can't even open this one. Oh, it's crazy. So number one tip for watercolors or any paints, to be honest, is try not to get paint around the edge because that dries and it makes it harder to open. So I'm going to put these ones at the bottom so we remember which ones were which. So the ones at the bottom here are going to be these Windsor Newton Cotman watercolors. And I managed to get the yellow open as well without twisting it too much. Let's move some of these out the way. Can't believe these are like I must be from the 1980s. Okay, we'll do that up properly later. Okay, so I've selected some from the Reeves section. Oh my gosh. This is so old. Okay, let's see if we can squeeze anything out of this, or is this too hard on the inside? It's soft, but okay, we've got this coming out. It's just very, very hard. Oh my gosh. I tend to use this baking paper more than paint palette because I don't like to wash paints down the sink. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's not happening. Okay, that one's not coming out. I might have to cut that one open. What about the purple? Can we get any of the purple out? Okay, so I'm going to have to... Can I squeeze this out? Come on. No. It's soft at the bottom though, so I'll be able to just dig out the top where it's dried and try and squeeze some out. So let's give that a try. So it's like a really thick paste. Okay, let's try and scrape some of this onto here. The red was just not coming out. So what colour is this actually? Carmine. So I've had to cut that one open. So we'll leave those there. And these ones will hopefully be a little bit easier. They're actually brand new. Oh my gosh. They've like never been used. Maybe I should leave this out of the experiment. Are these all brand new? They're all brand new. That's crazy. Okay, so I think these are too new. So I'm going to put these ones to the side. They've been completely unopened and they're very, very soft inside. So I think we're just going to stick with the really, really old paints, the Cotmans and the Reeves. Okay, let's try and paint some flowers. Okay, let's start with the Cotman Windsor Newton. So this is the red, the yellow. So the red, this particular colour is cadmium red. This one's cadmium yellow, so straightforward. And this green, viridian hue. So there we go. Let's see what we can try and create. Okay, let's start with the yellow. And give it a try. Okay, so we've got some kind of impressionist watercolour flowers, very simple. Don't judge my watercolour art too much. I'm definitely more of an acrylic artist. But let's give a try with this green, so this really hard. So I think the red and the yellow worked really well. As expected, they're still quite soft. Let's give it a try with this green though. I do not know what to expect. But I mean, yeah, it's just working like a normal, hard watercolour, so probably wouldn't be my first choice. It's a little bit too vivid, this green, so maybe I add a little bit of red. Maybe not, maybe add a bit of green yellow. Let's tone that to a more warmer green. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so I think that went quite well. Oh my gosh, it's there we go. There's little impressionist watercolor flowers with watercolors that are basically 30, 40 years old. So kudos to Windsor Newton, Cotman. You've stood the test of time. And it goes to show that even if your watercolors go super rock hard, you can still use them. So I'm going to store this at the end in a cute little pot I've got. Well, let's give the Reeves, should we give the Reeves a try? We'll do a similar sort of flower design and see if these have stood the test of time. I think these are slightly newer, but we're talking at least 30 years old. So let's try these three next. So these colours, we had the green, which I managed to squeeze out. We had the purple, which I had to pull out. It was very plasticky, sort of gel-like. And then the red, obviously, which is, yeah, pretty much like hard watercolour. So, okay, let's try let's go with the purple first. Let's see if we can get anything. It's actually more of a blue. That's interesting. What colour is this? So this, what I thought was, it's actually ultramarine. So I thought it was purple, but it's actually ultramarine blue. The green I'm using is, that's a very good question. Whatever this is, Verde Veiga. I've never heard of that colour before. And the red is Carmen, which I think I mentioned before. So, okay, we're going to have some blue flowers. Why not? And let's try and paint some impressionist flowers. Yeah, it's working really well. Good. Let's go in for the green. It's a nice green. That's the greens. So these are the Reeves, and we've created some beautiful impressionist flowers with those colours as well. Absolutely fine, and nothing wrong with them whatsoever. That went surprisingly well. I mean, I had my suspicions that they would be okay because obviously you get hard watercolours. These are just working from the tube. But I think it's a nice video because it shows you that if you buy watercolours in the tube, you like working from the tube, that if they go hard over time, then you can still work them. You just add a little bit of water and you get the colours. So yeah, it's a good investment. Well, I think we'll have to wait maybe another, if you want to tune back in another 20 years time or 30 years time, I will test it with my acrylics, which are all quite new. That was so much fun. I've been meaning to do that video for actually quite a few years, so that's more years on top of how old they were to begin with. So, but that went surprisingly well, and I'm really pleased with the results. So yeah, I'm going to keep it. I feel a little bit sad actually because I'm sure a few years ago I actually went through my watercolours and actually threw some of the really hard ones away. So these, yeah, I've only got the hard ones that my dad gave me, so I feel a little bit like I wasted some perfectly good watercolours. So yeah, don't throw them away if they go hard. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope it was inspiring and just fun, and maybe you just enjoyed watching the flowers. But thank you for joining me in the art studio today, and let me know if you enjoyed this content and if you want to see more videos like this, or you want to hear about more of my life in Hungary as a British expat. And yeah, so there we go. Cute little watercolour bookmarks. I'm quite pleased with those. Thank you for watching, everyone, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe and like and share this video and all that stuff that people say at the end of videos. I'll see you soon for some more creative, arty fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.